The Ferrari SF90's engine screamed through the Seoul night like a dying animal. Rain hammered against the windshield as Lee Min-sun pushed the speedometer past 200 kilometers per hour, his knuckles white against the steering wheel. Min-sun, slow down. Mi Soo-ha clutched the dashboard, her wedding dress still pristine white despite the chaos of the last 3 hours. I can't. His jaw clenched as headlights flanked them on both sides. Motorcycles. 6 of them. Red Scorpion Squad. The wedding had been perfect until it wasn't. Until Lee Soo-ha crashed through the reception hall doors with 20 armed men. Until the bullets started flying. Until Mi Soo-ha's father pushed them toward the exit, screaming for them to run. A motorcycle pulled alongside the driver's window. The rider raised a gun. Get down. Min-sun yanked the wheel right. The Ferrari sideswiped the motorcycle, sending it spinning into the guardrail. Sparks exploded against the wet asphalt. We're not going to make it. Mi Soo-ha's voice cracked. Yes, we are. Min-sun's hand found hers, squeezed. I promise. He didn't see the spike strip until it was too late. The front tires exploded. The Ferrari hydroplaned, spinning 180 degrees. Min-sun fought the wheel, but physics won. The car smashed through the Mapo Bridge barrier like paper. For a moment, they were flying. Mi Soo-ha looked at him, tears streaming down her face. I love you. Then the Han River rose up to meet them. The impact shattered every window. Black water rushed in, violent and freezing. Min-sun's seatbelt locked, crushing his ribs. Beside him, Mi Soo-ha screamed as water filled her lungs. Mi Soo. He clawed at his seatbelt, but the mechanism had jammed. The car was sinking fast, nose first into the depths. She was trapped too, her door crumpled inward from the impact. Water was already up to their chests, their necks, their chins. Min-sun finally ripped free from his belt. He grabbed her face, kissed her hard. Hold your breath. He punched the driver's side window. Once. Twice. His knuckles split open. On the third hit, the glass gave way. Water rushed in like a tsunami. Min-sun grabbed Mi Soo-ha's arm, pulling. But her seatbelt wouldn't release. Her dress was caught in the crushed door. She shook her head, mouthing words he couldn't hear over the roar of water. Go. No. He pulled harder, his lungs burning. She pushed him away. Go. His vision was dimming. His body was shutting down. If he didn't surface now, they'd both die. Mi Soo-ha's hand touched his face one last time. Then she pushed him toward the broken window. Min-sun's body moved on autopilot. He swam up through the black water. His lungs were screaming. His vision was white at the edges. He broke the surface, gasping, choking. Rain pelted his face as he treaded water, staring down at the disappearing taillights of the Ferrari. Mi Soo. His scream tore through the night. He dove. Once. Twice. 3 times. But the river was too deep, too dark, too fast. The current swept him downstream, away from her, away from everything. On the shore, Red Scorpion soldiers watched through binoculars. One spoke into a radio. Target eliminated. Both confirmed dead. 3 months later, the rain hadn't stopped. Ola Fatakimi stood under the shower in her small Itaewon apartment, letting the hot water beat against her shoulders. 16 hours at Seoul International Hospital had left her muscles knotted and her mind exhausted. A little boy had coded twice in her shift. Both times, she brought him back. His mother had grabbed her hands afterward, sobbing in Korean. Thank you, you saved my baby. Ola had smiled, exhausted, and said in halting Korean, it's my job. But it was more than that. It had always been more than that. Back in Lagos, nursing had been her escape. From her ex-boyfriend who'd stolen her savings. From her father's disappointment that she wasn't a doctor. From the weight of everyone's expectations. Seoul was supposed to be different. A fresh start. New country, new language, new life. She turned off the water and reached for her towel, humming Burna Boy under her breath. Then she heard it. Glass shattering downstairs. Ola froze, water still dripping from her hair. Her apartment was on the 2nd floor. The only way in was through the front door or the balcony window. Heavy footsteps on her stairs. Multiple people. Voices in Korean, sharp and urgent. 2층을 확인해. Check the 2nd floor. 그가 여기 어딘가에 있다. He's somewhere here. Ola's heart hammered against her ribs. She wrapped the towel around herself, hands shaking. She should scream. Call the police. But something about those voices made her spine go cold. These weren't thieves. These were hunters. She stepped into the hallway, bare feet silent on the wooden floor. Her bathroom door was still open, steam spilling out into the corridor. And there, standing in the doorway to her guest room, was a man. He was tall, soaking wet, with long black hair plastered to his face, even drenched and bleeding. He was beautiful in a dangerous way. Sharp jaw, intense dark eyes, tattoos snaking up his neck and disappearing under his white dress shirt. The shirt was torn, soaked red with blood. In his right hand, he held a gun. Their eyes met. Ola's hand flew to her mouth, smothering the scream building in her throat. Downstairs, the voices were getting closer. 그를 찾으면 천천히 죽여라. When you find him, kill him slowly. 이 소하님이 그의 심장을 원하신다. 이 Soha wants his heart. The man pressed one finger to his lips. His eyes were pleading. Desperate. Please, he whispered in English. Accented but clear. Please don't scream. Ola stood frozen, her hands still covering her mouth. She could see the wound in his abdomen now, blood seeping through his fingers as he tried to hold it closed. He was swaying on his feet. The voices were on the stairs now. The man's eyes rolled back. He stumbled forward, and Ola caught him on instinct, nurse training overriding terror. He was heavy, all muscle and dead weight. Who are you? She whispered. He looked at her, and for a moment, his expression softened into something almost tender. In Korean, he murmured "내 사랑," my love. Then in English, don't. Call police. After. His knees buckled. Ola caught him again, grunting under his weight. She could hear the men searching her living room now, throwing furniture. They'd be upstairs in seconds. The man's eyes fluttered closed. Hey, stay with me, Ola hissed. But he was gone, unconscious in her arms. Downstairs, someone barked an order. 다시 확인해. 그는 이 건물 어딘가에 있어야 한다. Check again. He has to be in this building somewhere. Ola made a decision she'd probably regret for the rest of her life. She dragged the man into her guest room and locked the door as quietly as she could. Her heart was trying to punch through her chest. She laid him on the floor, pressing her ear against the door. Footsteps in the hallway. Right outside. The doorknob rattled. Ola held her breath. 에이 보이스, 이 방은 잠겨 있어. This room is locked. Another voice was on. Break it down. 잠깐만. Wait. A phone rang. Someone answered. 네, 사장님. 네, 알겠습니다. Yes, boss. Yes. Understood. Silence. Then footsteps retreating. 이 소하님이 강남에서 그를 봤다고 하셨어. 가자. Soha says she saw him in Gangnam. Let's go. The voices faded. The front door slammed. Ola waited 5 full minutes before she moved. Her legs were shaking so badly she could barely stand. She crept to the window and peered through the blinds. 3 black SUVs pulled away from the curb, disappearing into the rain-soaked Seoul night. Ola turned back to the unconscious man bleeding out on her floor. What the hell did I just do? She dropped to her knees beside him, her nurse instincts kicking in properly now. Airway, breathing, circulation. She checked his pulse. Thready but present. His breathing was shallow. The gunshot wound in his abdomen was still bleeding. Not arterial, thank God, but bad enough. She ran to her bathroom and grabbed her first aid kit. It wasn't nearly enough for a gunshot wound, but it would have to do. She couldn't take him to a hospital. Those men would find him. And her. Ola cut away his shirt with scissors. As the fabric fell away, she got her first real look at him. He was built like a fighter. All lean muscle and old scars. The dragon tattoo coiled from his ribs up to his shoulder, intricate and beautiful. His abs were perfect, defined, the kind you saw on magazine covers. Focus, Ola. She examined the wound. Entry point in the left lower quadrant, no exit wound. The bullet was still inside. She grabbed her phone, then hesitated. Should she call the police? An ambulance? But those men's voices echoed in her head. Kill him slowly. Soha wants his heart. Whoever this man was, whoever was hunting him, they were worse than him. Ola put down the phone. She sterilized a pair of tweezers over her stove's flame, boiled water, grabbed every clean towel she owned. Then she went to work. Extracting a bullet with kitchen tweezers and dental floss wasn't in any nursing textbook, but Ola had grown up watching her grandmother, a midwife in rural Nigeria, perform miracles with almost nothing. The man groaned as she probed the wound. His eyes cracked open, unfocused. Sorry, Ola whispered. This is going to hurt. She found the bullet lodged against his muscle tissue. Carefully, slowly, she worked it free. It took 20 minutes and left her hands cramping, but finally, she pulled it out. The man had passed out again, which was probably for the best. Ola stitched him up with dental floss, her hands surprisingly steady. When she was done, she bandaged the wound and sat back exhausted. Only then did she notice the wedding ring in his shirt pocket. She pulled it out, held it up to the light. Gold band with an inscription inside Msh. BLMS 영원히. Forever. Who are you? Ola whispered to the unconscious man. And who did you lose? She couldn't leave him on the floor. Using a bedsheet, she managed to half-drag, half-roll him onto her guest bed. Then she tied his wrists to the bedposts with extension cords. Not ideal, but she wasn't stupid enough to let a strange man with a gun wake up unrestrained in her home. Ola grabbed her baseball bat from the closet and sat in the chair beside the bed. And waited. Outside Seoul slept. Dawn broke through the curtains in shades of gray and gold. Ola had dozed off twice during the night, jerking awake each time with her grip tight on the baseball bat. Her neck ached from the awkward angle of the chair, and her eyes felt like sandpaper. The man stirred. Ola sat up straight, bat raised. His eyes opened slowly, dark and disoriented. He stared at the ceiling for a long moment before his gaze found her. They looked at each other in silence. Then his eyes dropped to the extension cords binding his wrists. He tested them, wincing as the movement pulled at his stitches. "Good morning," Ola said, her voice steadier than she felt. The man's jaw tightened. He spoke in Korean, a curse word. Ola stood up, using the bat to lift his chin. "You will not use curse words in my house." "I understand Korean." Surprise flickered across his face. "And I understand English," he replied, switching languages. "Why am I tied up?" "You look like a criminal." "I'm not taking any chances." A ghost of a smile crossed his lips despite the pain. And you thought the best place to tie a criminal was your bedroom?" His eyes traveled around the room, taking in the floral curtains, the small bookshelf stuffed with nursing textbooks. "If you hadn't stitched me up, I'd say you wanted to take advantage of me." Ola's face heated. "Very funny. You better start talking before I call the police." The smile faded. "Well, pretty. I'm Lee Min's son." Silence stretched between them. Ola waited. He said nothing else. "Go on," she prompted. "What do you mean, go on? If that's all you're going to give me, I'm calling the police right now." "Don't try me, oh this boy." The Nigerian pigeon slipped out in her frustration. Min Sun's eyebrows rose slightly. Then his expression shifted, something hardening in his eyes. "Okay, fine. But just know the more you know, the more danger you're in." "I think I'm already in danger," Ola said flatly. "Men with guns searched my apartment last night looking for you." "So talk." Min Sun took a breath, winced at the pain it caused. "I'm Lee Min Sun, heir to the Shadow Clan of the Vale. You've heard of them?" Ola shook her head. "Good. Most people who've heard of us don't live long enough to talk about it." He wasn't bragging, just stating fact. "We're one of Seoul's oldest Mafia families. And I was their best assassin. They called me the ghost of Gwangwoman." Ola's grip on the bat tightened. "I've killed 47 people," Min Sun continued, his voice flat, emotionless. "Politicians, business rivals, traitors. Anyone the Shadow Clan wanted gone. I was good at it. Too good. Efficient. Clean. No witnesses, no evidence. Why are you telling me this?" Ola whispered. "Because you asked." His eyes met hers. "And because you deserve to know what kind of monster you saved." "You're not." "I am." His voice was sharp. "Don't make the mistake of thinking otherwise." Ola sat back down in the chair, bat across her lap. "Then why are they hunting you? Why did you run?" Min Sun's face changed. The hardness cracked, revealing something raw underneath. "I fell in love." The words hung in the air. Her name was Mi Soo-ha. She was the daughter of Ha Jin-woo, leader of the Crimson Phoenix Syndicate. Our families had been at war for 20 years. Hundreds dead on both sides. But I met her at a cherry blossom festival. She was in disguise, I was in disguise. We didn't know who the other was. His voice softened, became almost tender. She laughed at my jokes. She wasn't afraid of me. She saw me as just a man. Not a killer. Not an heir. Just Min Sun. He swallowed hard. I fell in love that day. We kept meeting in secret for 6 months before we found out the truth about each other. What happened when you found out? Ola asked quietly. We decided it didn't matter. That love was stronger than blood. Than legacy. He laughed bitterly. We were idiots. You wanted to end the war. Yes. Our marriage was supposed to unite the families. Bring peace. Both our fathers agreed. It was supposed to be a new beginning. But someone didn't want peace. Min Sun's hands clenched into fists. Madame E. Cheon. The real power behind Shadow Clan. She's my father's aunt, but she runs everything. And she had other plans for me. She wanted me to marry her daughter, Lee Soha. The name sent a chill through Ola. Lee Soha. The woman whose name those men had spoken last night. Lee Soha grew up with me, Min Sun continued. She's been obsessed with me since we were children. Madame Lee Cheon promised her that we'd marry, that we'd rule Shadow Clan together. When I announced my engagement to me, Suha instead. He closed his eyes. Our wedding was 3 months ago. Small ceremony, just family. Everything was perfect. Miss Su looked so beautiful in her hanbok. White with red embroidery. She was crying when we said our vows. Happy tears. His voice broke. The reception was at a hotel in Gangnam. We were cutting the cake when Lee Soha walked in with 20 Red Scorpion soldiers. That's Shadow Clan's elite unit. She was wearing a wedding dress. White, just like Misu's. She looked at me and said, "If I can't have you, no one can." Ola's hand covered her mouth. They opened fire. Guests started screaming, running. Miss Suha's father pushed us toward the exit. He stayed behind to fight. I found out later they killed him too. We ran to my car, my Ferrari. I thought if I could just get us to Crimson Phoenix territory, we'd be safe. But they followed you. Spike Strip on Mapo Bridge. Lost control. We went into the Han River. His voice was barely a whisper now. The car sank so fast. My seatbelt jammed. Her door was crushed. I got free, tried to get her out, but her belt wouldn't release. The water was rising. She pushed me away, told me to go. Tears streaked down his face. I watched her drown. Through the window. She was screaming my name, and I couldn't reach her. The current pulled me away. When I surfaced, the car was gone. She was gone. Ola felt tears on her own cheeks. I'm so sorry. The news reported us both dead. Tragic accident. Shadow Clan cleaned up the evidence, made it look like I lost control in the rain. I've been hiding for 3 months, moving every few days, using my old safe houses. But Lee Soha knows I'm alive. She's been hunting me. That's why you broke into my apartment. I was 3 blocks away when Red Scorpion found me. I got shot, Ran. Your balcony window was open. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you into this. Ola stood up, started pacing. This is insane. This is completely insane. Untie me. I'll leave. You can tell them you never saw me. They'll torture me to make sure I'm telling the truth. Then come with me. Ola spun around. What? I have contacts. The Blue Dragon Triad in Busan. They can get us new identities, smuggle us out of Korea. You're not safe here anymore. The moment they figure out which apartment I was in, they'll come back. I have a life here. A job. I'm on a work visa, I can't just. You had a life, Min Sun interrupted. Past tense. The second you stitched me up, you became a target. I'm sorry, but those are the facts. Ola sat down hard, the bat clattering to the floor. Her hands were shaking. This can't be happening. There's another option, Min Sun said quietly. What? We pretend to be married. You're a foreign nurse. I'm your Korean-American husband visiting from the States. Shadow Clan would never suspect a civilian, especially not a foreigner. They're looking for me alone in hiding, not living openly with someone. That's the stupidest plan I've ever heard. It's the only plan that doesn't end with you dead. Ola looked at him, really looked at him. This man was a killer. A Mafia heir. Everything logical said she should run screaming to the police. But she'd looked into his eyes when he talked about me, Suha. She'd heard the break in his voice. And she'd spent 6 years as a nurse, learning to read people, to see past the surface. Lee Min Sun was dangerous. But he wasn't evil. 1 week, she said finally. You contact your people in Busan. Get us new identities. Then you disappear, and I never see you again. Agreed. And you sleep on the couch. Obviously. Ola stood up and began untying the extension cords. If you try anything, I still have that baseball bat. And I know exactly where to hit to cause maximum pain. Min Sun actually smiled. I don't doubt it. She freed his hands. He sat up slowly, testing his stitches. You did good work. Where did you learn to remove bullets? My grandmother was a midwife in Nigeria. She could deliver a baby, stitch a machete wound, and set a broken bone all before breakfast. I learned from her. Remind me not to make her angry. Despite everything, Ola almost laughed. Too late. She's already angry I moved to Korea. She wanted me to marry a nice Yoruba boy and give her great-grandchildren. What did you want? The question caught her off guard. I wanted something different. Something mine. Not my father's dreams or my ex-boyfriend's plans or my family's expectations. Just mine. Min Sun nodded slowly. I understand that. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Ola's phone buzzed. A text from the hospital. Can you cover the afternoon shift? Emergency. I have to go to work, Ola said. Can you walk? Min Sun stood carefully. He was steady on his feet, though she could see the pain in his eyes. I'll manage. There's food in the kitchen. Don't answer the door. Don't go outside. Don't touch anything you don't need to touch. Yes, ma'am. Ola grabbed her bag, then paused at the door. Why did you call me my love last night? When you were bleeding out. Min Sun's expression closed off. You reminded me of her. The way you moved. Fearless, even when you were scared. Something twisted in Ola's chest. I'm not her. I know. Don't confuse us. I won't. But as Ola left for work, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were both lying. At Seoul International Hospital, Ola went through the motions. Checking vitals, administering medications, comforting patients. But her mind was elsewhere. She had a Mafia assassin in her apartment. Men with guns were hunting him. And she'd agreed to pretend to be his wife. Her colleague, Nurse Kim, noticed her distraction. You okay? You seem tired. Just a long night, Ola said with a forced smile. You worked too hard. You need to relax, have some fun. Maybe go on a date. If only you knew, Ola thought. Her shift was ending when she saw her. A woman in an expensive white coat, too fancy for a patient, too poised for a visitor. She had porcelain skin, sharp features, and eyes like black ice. The woman was watching Ola from across the lobby. Their gazes met. The woman smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Then she walked toward the elevator and disappeared. Ola's blood ran cold. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands and texted Min Sun. We have a problem. Ola practically ran home, her heart hammering the entire subway ride. She burst through her apartment door to find Min Sun standing by the window, gun in hand. What happened? He asked immediately. A woman. At the hospital. She was watching me. Ola locked the door behind her, through the deadbolt. Expensive clothes, beautiful, cold eyes. She smiled at me like she knew something. Min Sun's face went pale. Describe her exactly. Tall, maybe 5'7". Porcelain skin. Long black hair. She was wearing a white designer coat, probably worth more than my monthly salary. Lee Soha. Min Sun's grip on the gun tightened. She found you. How? How could she possibly? She's not stupid. She knows I was shot, knows I couldn't have gone far. She's been checking every hospital, every clinic in Itaewon. She probably bribed the staff for records of any nurses who live in the area. He started pacing. We need to leave. No. I can't just leave. My fisa, my yob, will mean nothing if you're dead. Min Sun grabbed her shoulders. Listen to me. Soha doesn't make idle threats. If she's seen you, she's already planning how to use you against me. Ola pulled away, trying to think. Then we do your plan. The fake marriage. Starting now. It's too late for that. She's already suspicious. So we make her unsuspicious. Ola's mind was racing, her nursing training kicking in. Stay calm. Assess the situation. Make a plan. She saw me at work. A random nurse. She doesn't know where I live yet. Doesn't know you're here. We have a window. Min Sun studied her face. What are you thinking? We go public. Tomorrow. Social media, everything. Post pictures of us together. Tag the location. Make it look like we've been together for months. If she thinks you're hiding, she'll keep hunting. But if you're in plain sight, living openly with your foreign girlfriend, she'll think it's a cover. A trick. Maybe. Or maybe she'll think you've moved on. That you're not worth killing anymore. Min Sun shook his head. You don't know her. This isn't about strategy. It's personal. She wants me dead because I rejected her. Then what do you suggest? Because running clearly isn't working. Before Min Sun could answer, Ola's phone rang. Unknown number. They both froze. Don't answer it, Min Sun said. The phone kept ringing. On the fifth ring, Ola answered, putting it on speaker. Hello? Nurse Fatakimi. The voice was female, Korean accented, honey sweet. We haven't formally met. My name is Lee Soha. Ola's mouth went dry. Min Sun moved closer, listening. I don't know who you are, Ola said carefully. Lee Soha laughed. Of course you don't. But I know who you are. 28 years old. From Lagos, Nigeria. You've been in Seoul for 2 years. You live alone in a small apartment in Itaewon. You work the pediatric ward at Seoul International Hospital. You send money home to your mother every month. The casual recitation of her life made Ola's skin crawl. What do you want? I want to meet you. Just a conversation. Woman to woman. I'm not interested. I think you are. Because I have information about someone you might know. A man. Tall, handsome, covered in tattoos. He's a criminal, you see. Very dangerous. And I have reason to believe he might have imposed on your hospitality recently. Min Sun's jaw clenched. I don't know what you're talking about, Ola said. Then you won't mind having dinner with me. Tomorrow night. 8 o'clock. Gwanghwamun Palace Restaurant. Come alone. And if I refuse? Then I'll assume you're harboring a fugitive. And I'll have to involve the police. Along with immigration authorities. I understand work visas can be so fragile. One complained about illegal activity and... so I'll let the threat hang. Ola looked at Min Sun. He shook his head violently. I'll be there, Ola said. Wonderful. Oh, and Nurse Fatakimi? Don't try to run. I have people watching your building. Your hospital. The subway station. Everywhere. You run. And everyone you've ever spoken to in Seoul will pay the price. Do we understand each other? Yes. Good. I look forward to our chat. The line went dead. Ola sank onto the couch, her legs suddenly weak. She knows. She knows everything. Min Sun was already moving, checking the windows. She's bluffing about some of it. Trying to scare you. It's working. Gwanghwamun Palace is Shadow Clan headquarters. If you go there, you're not coming back. If I don't go, she'll have me deported. Or killed. Or both. Ola looked up at him. What's the play here? Because I'm out of ideas. Min Sun stopped pacing. He looked at her for a long moment, something shifting in his expression. We go together. She said come alone. I don't care what she said. I'm not letting you walk into that place by yourself. He sat down beside her. We'll need a cover story. Something believable. Like what? Like the truth. Sort of. Min Sun leaned back, thinking. We say we met 3 months ago. After the accident. You found me injured, didn't know who I was, helped me. We fell in love. I've been living here quietly recovering. No mafia business. No revenge plots. Just a man trying to start over. She'll never believe that. She might. If we sell it right. His eyes met hers. But it means we have to be convincing. Very convincing. How convincing? Min Sun reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, he tucked a strand of her hair behind her ear. His fingers lingered on her cheek. This convincing. Ola's breath caught. She should move away. This was insane. He was a killer, she was a nurse, and they'd known each other for less than 24 hours. But his touch was gentle. And his eyes held so much pain. We should practice, she whispered. Practice what? Being in love. The next 24 hours were surreal. Min Sun taught Ola how to shoot his gun in her bathroom with a pillow as a silencer. She taught him how to cook jollof rice, laughing when he added too much pepper, and had to drink half a gallon of water. They took photos together. Selfies on her couch, him kissing her cheek. Pictures of them cooking together, his arms around her waist. They backdated them on her phone, created a whole fictional relationship timeline. We need a story about how we met, Ola said, scrolling through the photos. Cherry Blossom Festival, Min Sun said immediately. Then his face fell. Sorry. That's how I met. It's okay. Ola touched his hand. We can use it. Make something good out of a painful memory. They spent hours crafting their story. Every detail had to be perfect. Where they had their first date. What movies they'd watched together. The stupid arguments they'd had. The makeup sex. Did we really need to include that part? Ola asked, blushing. Min Sun grinned. It was the first real smile she'd seen from him. Soha will ask. She'll want to know everything. We have to be ready. That night, Ola couldn't sleep. She lay in her bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to Min Sun moving around in the living room. Around 2 a.m., she got up and found him sitting on the couch, shirtless, examining his stitches. Can't sleep? She asked. Never could. Not since. He didn't finish. Ola sat beside him. Tell me about her. The real her, not the tragic story. What was she like? Min Sun was quiet for a long time. Then, she snorted when she laughed. Really laughed. Not that polite giggle Korean women are taught. It was loud and undignified, and I loved it. She was obsessed with American rom-coms. Made me watch them all. She cried every time, even though she'd seen them 100 times. He smiled at the memory. She was terrible at cooking. Once set the kitchen on fire trying to make ramen. She wanted to open an animal shelter. Save every stray dog and soul. She believed in me. Believed I could be more than what my family made me. She sounds amazing, Ola said softly. She was. Min-sun looked at Ola. I'm sorry. For dragging you into this. For putting you in danger. For asking you to pretend to be something you're not. Maybe I'm not pretending as much as I thought. The words hung between them. Ola, don't. Don't say anything. Tomorrow we walk into hell. Tonight, Jess. She didn't know how to finish. Min-sun understood. He put his arm around her shoulders, and she leaned into him. They sat like that until dawn, not speaking, just existing together in the quiet. The next evening, Ola put on the nicest dress she owned. Black, simple, elegant. Min-sun had dyed his hair brown and wore colored contacts. He looked different, but not different enough. You ready? He asked. No. You? Not even close. They took a taxi to Gwangwamun. The restaurant was exactly as Ola had imagined. Old money, traditional architecture, the kind of place where every table cost more than her monthly rent. Red scorpion guards flanked the entrance. We can still run, Min-sun whispered. No, we can't. They walked in holding hands. A hostess bowed. Mr. Park? Ms. Fatakimi? Right this way. She led them through the main dining room. Other patrons looked up, curious about the foreign woman and her Korean companion. They went down a hallway, up a flight of stairs to a private room. The door opened. Soha sat at the center of a long table. She was even more beautiful up close. Ethereal, like something from a painting. She wore a red silk cheapao that probably cost more than Ola's car back in Lagos. Beside her sat an elderly woman with a scarred face and eyes like a snake, Madame Cheon. And around the room, standing at attention, were at least 10 red scorpion soldiers. Please sit. Soha gestured to the chairs across from her. Her smile was perfect and cold. Ola and Min-sun sat. Under the table, their hands found each other. Thank you for coming, Soha said. I've been so curious about you, Nurse Fatakimi. Just Ola is fine. Ola. What a lovely name. And your companion. Mr. David Park, is it? Min-sun nodded. That's right. From Los Angeles? Born and raised. How wonderful. Soha poured tea with delicate movements. Tell me, how did you two meet? This was it. The performance of their lives. Ola smiled, squeezed Min-sun's hand. Cherry Blossom Festival. 3 months ago. I was lost. Couldn't read the Korean signs. David helped me find my way. We ended up talking for hours. How romantic, Soha said. Her eyes were fixed on Min-sun's face. You know, David, you look very familiar. Have we met before? I don't think so. I'd remember someone as beautiful as you. Soha's smile didn't waver. Madame Cheon, doesn't he look familiar? The old woman leaned forward. She stared at Min-sun with those dead eyes. Show me your ribs, she said in Korean. The room went still. I'm sorry? Min-sun replied in English. Your ribs. Madame Cheon switched to English. I heard a rumor once. About a Shadow Clan assassin. He had a dragon tattoo. Right here. She touched her own ribs. If you're really David Park from Los Angeles, you won't mind showing us. Ola's heart stopped. Min-sun smiled easily. I'm not taking my shirt off in front of my girlfriend's dinner hosts. That seems inappropriate. Then perhaps your girlfriend won't mind if we check. Soha snapped her fingers. 2 guards moved toward them. Ola stood up. Touch him and I scream. This is a public restaurant. You really want that kind of attention? Soha laughed. Oh, I like you. You have spine. But you're wrong about one thing. This isn't a public restaurant. My family owns it. Every employee, every guest tonight, they all work for me. You could scream until your voice gave out. No one would help you. The guards grabbed Min-sun's arms. Min-sun didn't resist as the guards yanked him to his feet. Ola's mind raced, searching for any way out, but they were surrounded, outnumbered, trapped. One guard reached for Min-sun's shirt. Wait. Soha held up a hand. The guard froze. Actually, I have a better idea. Ola, was it? Tell me something. In these 3 months you've known David, has he ever mentioned the name Misuha? Ola's throat tightened. No. Why would he? Because Misuha was my fiancé's wife. They died together. A tragic accident. Soha's voice was poison sweet. But recently I've heard whispers. Rumors that he survived. That he's alive, hiding somewhere in Seoul like a coward. I don't know anything about that, Ola said. Of course you don't. Soha stood, walked around the table. She circled Ola like a predator. You're just an innocent nurse. Foreign, naive. You probably believe everything this man has told you. She stopped directly behind Ola, leaned down, whispered in her ear. He's using you. When he's done, you'll end up like me, Suha. At the bottom of a river. Ola turned to face her. You're wrong. Am I? Soha's smile was cruel. Let me tell you about Lee Min-sun. He's incapable of love. He's a killer. A weapon. His family raised him to be nothing else. Miss Suha thought she could save him. Thought love would be enough. Look where that got her. If you're so sure David is this Min-sun person, Ola said, keeping her voice steady, why haven't you just killed him already? Soha's eyes flickered with something. Surprise, maybe, or respect. Because I want him to suffer first. I want him to know what it feels like to lose everything. To watch someone he cares about die because of him. Then you're wasting your time. Because David isn't who you think he is. Prove it. How? Soha gestured to the guards. They released Min-sun, shoving him back toward his chair. Stay. Have dinner with us. Let me get to know you both. If you're really just a nurse and her boyfriend, you have nothing to fear. But if you refuse. Her smile widened. Well, that would be very suspicious, wouldn't it? Ola looked at Min-sun. His expression was carefully neutral, but she could see the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands stayed close to where his gun was hidden under his jacket. We'll stay, Ola said. The dinner was psychological torture. Soha asked endless questions, each one a trap. Where did you go on your first date? What's David's favorite food? What side of the bed does he sleep on? Ola and Min-sun answered in sync, their practice story flowing smoothly. But every answer seemed to amuse Soha more. Madame Ichion ate in silence, watching them with those dead eyes. When dessert arrived, Soha pulled out her phone. I have something to show you. She turned the screen toward them. Security footage. Grainy black and white. It showed a man entering Ola's apartment building 3 months ago. The timestamp read the night after the Ferrari crash. The man was bleeding, stumbling. His face was partially visible. It was clearly Min-sun. Ola's blood turned to ice. This is from the building's security system, Soha said casually. I've had my people reviewing footage from every building in Itaewon. Do you know how long that takes? Months. But I'm very patient. She swiped to another image. This one showed the man leaving the building weeks later, hair dyed, wearing different clothes. Now, the interesting thing is the building manager says a foreign nurse lives in apartment 2B, a Nigerian woman. Very friendly, works at Seoul International Hospital. Soha's smile was venomous. What an incredible coincidence. Min-sun's hand moved toward his gun. I wouldn't, Soha said. My guards are faster. And if you pull that weapon, my first order will be to put a bullet in your girlfriend's head. His hand stilled. So let's stop playing games. Soha leaned forward. I know who you are, Min-sun. I know she's been hiding you. The only question is what I do about it. Let her go, Min-sun said quietly. She's innocent. She didn't know who I was when she helped me. This is between you and me. Oh, but that's where you're wrong. This stopped being just between us the moment you chose me, Suha, over me. The moment you humiliated me in front of both our families. Soha's composure cracked slightly, rage bleeding through. I loved you. I waited for you my whole life. And you threw me away for some Crimson Phoenix whore. I never promised you anything, Min-sun said. Your family promised. Madame Ichion promised. Soha was standing now, her voice rising. We were supposed to rule together. Build an empire. But you had to fall in love, had to be weak, had to destroy everything. Madame Ichion spoke for the first time. Enough, Soha. Her voice was like gravel. You're being emotional. Soha took a breath, smoothed her dress, sat back down. When she spoke again, her voice was controlled. You're right, of course, madam. Forgive me. She looked at Min-sun. I'm going to give you a choice. A kindness, really, more than you deserve. What choice? Ola asked. Marry me, Soha said to Min-sun. Tonight. We'll have a ceremony right here. You'll renounce your claim to the Crimson Phoenix Alliance. Swear loyalty to Shadow Clan. In exchange, I'll let your nurse live. Give her money, a new visa for any country she wants. She'll never have to think about you again. No, Min-sun said immediately. No. Soha's eyebrow arched. You'd rather she die? I'd rather we both die than let you win. Soha laughed. How romantic. But I don't think Ola feels the same way. Do you, Ola? Do you want to die for a man you've known for 3 months? A man who's lied to you, used you, put you in danger? Ola stood up. Her chair scraped against the floor. Every guard in the room tensed. You want to know the truth? Ola said. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, part of me wishes I'd never met him. But you're wrong about one thing. He didn't use me. He gave me a choice. Every step of the way, he gave me a choice. And I chose to help him. Why? Soha demanded. Because when I look at him, I don't see a killer. I see a man who's trying to be better. Who's trying to escape the hell his family built around him. And maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I'll regret this. But I'd rather die standing beside him than live knowing I abandoned someone who needed me. The room was silent. Then Madame Ichion started to laugh. It was a horrible sound, dry and rattling. Oh, Soha, the old woman said. You've lost. Can't you see? He's already in love with her. Soha's face went white. She looked at Min-sun. Is that true? Min-sun stood slowly. He took Ola's hand. Yes. You barely know her. I know enough. I know she's brave. I know she sees the world in a way I forgot was possible. I know that when I'm with her, I remember what it feels like to be human. His voice was steady, sure. I know I love her. Ola's heart was pounding. This was supposed to be an act, a performance. But the way Min-sun was looking at her didn't feel like acting. Soha stood up so fast her chair fell backward. Kill them. Both of them. Make it slow. The guards moved forward. And then the lights went out. Gunfire erupted in the darkness. Ola felt Min-sun pull her down, shielding her body with his. Glass shattered. Someone screamed. Emergency lights flickered on, bathing everything in red. Standing in the doorway, surrounded by armed men in blue suits, was a middle-aged Korean man with gray hair and cold eyes. Ha Jinwoo, Min-sun breathed. Mi Suha's father. The Crimson Phoenix soldiers had their guns trained on every Shadow Clan guard in the room. Ha Jinwoo walked in slowly, calmly, as if entering a business meeting. His eyes found Min-sun. You're alive, he said in Korean. Yes, sir. Good. Ha Jinwoo pulled out a gun and pointed it at Madame Ichion. Because I made a promise to my daughter. I promised her that if anything happened to her, I would burn Shadow Clan to the ground. And I always keep my promises. This is neutral territory. Madame Ichion snarled. You violate the accords. The accords died with my daughter. When you murdered her at her own wedding. Ha Jinwoo's finger tightened on the trigger. Wait. Min-sun stood up. If you kill her, this war never ends. Every Shadow Clan soldier in Seoul will hunt Crimson Phoenix. Hundreds will die. Good. Misu wouldn't want that. She wanted peace. Ha Jinwoo's jaw clenched. My daughter is dead because of these people. And killing them won't bring her back. Min-sun's voice was gentle. I know. I've been trying to accept that for 3 months. But she believed in something better. Don't let her dream die with her. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Ha Jinwoo lowered his gun. Get out. Both of you. I'll hold them here. Sir. Go. While you still can. Min-sun grabbed Ola's hand. They ran. Through the restaurant, past screaming patrons, into the Seoul night. Behind them, they could hear shouting, more gunfire. They ran until Ola's lungs were burning, until her legs gave out. They collapsed in an alley somewhere in Gangnam, gasping for air. What just happened? Ola managed. Ha Jinwoo must have been watching Soha, waiting for her to lead him to me. Min-sun was checking his gun, his movements automatic. We're not safe yet. She'll send people after us. Where do we go? Min-sun pulled out his phone, dialed. Daehyun? It's me. I need that boat. Tonight. I know it's early, but... Okay. In Cheonport, 2 hours. We'll be there. He hung up. Looked at Ola. My friend in Busan. He can get us to Jeju Island, then Japan. But we have to move now. Ola nodded. She was too exhausted, too overwhelmed to argue. They made it to Ola's apartment long enough to grab essentials. Passports, money, a change of clothes. Ola looked around her small home, at the life she'd built here, knowing she was leaving it all behind. I'm sorry, Min-sun said quietly. Stop apologizing. I made my choice. She turned to him. Did you mean it? What you said back there? About loving you? Yes. Min-sun cupped her face in his hands. Every word. He kissed her. Not for show, not for performance. Just because he wanted to. Ola kissed him back, pouring 3 months of fear and adrenaline and unexpected feeling into it. When they broke apart, she whispered, "We should go." They took a taxi to Incheon port. The ride took an hour through late-night Seoul traffic. Ola watched the city lights blur past, wondering if she'd ever see them again. At the port, they found the dock number Daehyun had given. A small fishing boat waited, engine running. A man stepped out of the shadows. Tall, thin, with a scar across his cheek. Min-sun. It's been a long time. Daehyun. Thank you for this. Daehyun's expression was unreadable. Get on the boat. We need to leave before port security makes their rounds. Min-sun helped Ola aboard. The boat rocked under her feet. She'd never been good with boats, but now wasn't the time to mention seasickness. Daehyun followed them on. He was moving toward the cabin when his phone rang. He answered in Korean. Yes, Madam Lee Cheon. Yes, I have them both. The boat is ready. Payment on delivery? Of course. Ola's blood went cold. Min-sun spun around. Daehyun what? The gun was already in Daehyun's hand, pointed at Min-sun's chest. I'm sorry, brother, Daehyun said. His voice was pained but determined. But they're offering me 10 billion won. And after what you did. After Jiyeon. Jiyeon? Min-sun's face went pale. Your sister? She was at the wedding? She was a server. Wrong place, wrong time. So as men didn't care. They shot everyone. Tears streaked down Daehyun's face. She was 19 years old. She had a scholarship to university. She had her whole life ahead of her. I didn't know. Daehyun, I swear I didn't know. It doesn't matter. She's still dead. And it's because of you. Because you had to fall in love, had to start a war. Ola saw the gun waver. Saw Daehyun's finger on the trigger. Saw the kettle of hot water sitting on the boat's small stove. She grabbed it and threw. Boiling water hit Daehyun's face. He screamed, fired wildly. The bullet went wide, punching through the boat's hull. Min-sun tackled him. They fought, grappling for the gun. Ola heard it fire again. Saw Min-sun's shoulder bloom red. But he didn't stop. He wrenched the gun from Daehyun's grip and hit him with it once hard. Daehyun collapsed. Min-sun. Ola rushed to him. His shoulder was bleeding badly. I'm okay. We need to go. No. He pushed past her, started the boat's engine. What about him? Leave him. He'll live. They pulled away from the dock just as port security's spotlight swept across them. Someone was shouting in Korean. More lights appeared. Min-sun pushed the throttle forward. The boat lurched, gained speed. Behind them, Incheon port grew smaller. Ahead, the dark ocean stretched endless. Ola pressed her scarf against Min-sun's bleeding shoulder. You need a hospital. Can't. Not in Korea. He was pale but focused. There's a first aid kit below. Can you patch me up? I can try. She found the kit, worked by the light of her phone. The bullet had gone clean through, missing bone. Lucky. She cleaned it, packed it, bandaged it as best she could. You're getting really good at this, Min-sun said through gritted teeth. I wish I wasn't. They sailed through the night. By dawn, they could see Jeju Island on the horizon. What happens now? Ola asked. Now we disappear. New names, new lives. Daehyun knows someone in Japan who makes documents. We lay low for a few months, then. He trailed off. Then what? Then we figure out how to actually live. Together. If that's what you want. Ola looked at him. This man who'd crashed into her life and turned everything upside down. This killer. This lover. This broken person trying to be whole. Yeah, she said. That's what I want. He smiled. Really smiled. And for the first time since she'd met him, he looked like he believed in something. 6 months later, Lagos, Nigeria. The clinic in Lekki Phase 1 was small but clean. Fatakimi Okafor Medical Center, read the sign outside. Inside, Ola was examining a little girl with a fever while her mother watched anxiously. It's just a cold, Ola said in Yoruba. Give her plenty of fluids. Let her rest. She'll be fine. The mother thanked her profusely, paid, left. Ola was updating her records when the door opened. Min-sun, now legally David Okafor, came in carrying supplies from the pharmacy. His Korean accent had softened, mixing with Nigerian inflections he'd picked up. He was wearing traditional Nigerian clothing, looking comfortable and relaxed in a way she'd never seen in Seoul. Clinic busy today? He asked. Always. She stood, stretched. Her hand unconsciously went to her belly, where a small bump was just starting to show. Min-sun noticed. He put down the supplies and came to her, placed his hand over hers. How are you feeling? Tired. Nauseous. Happy. He kissed her forehead. We should close early. Go to the beach. We just opened. And we're the owners. We can do what we want. They walked to Elagashi Beach as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Afrobeats played from nearby speakers. Children ran through the surf. Everything was warm and alive and safe. Ola took off her shoes, let her feet sink into the sand. Min-sun put his arm around her. No more secrets? She asked. It had become their ritual question. No more secrets. Just us. He touched her belly. And her. Could be a boy. No. I can feel it. She's going to be just like you. Beautiful and brave and impossible to lie to. Ola laughed. You're so sure? I'm sure. He kissed her soft and sweet. I'm sure about all of it. About you. About us. About this life we're building. They danced slowly to the distant music, wrapped in each other, wrapped in peace. And Ola thought, this is it. This is the life I wanted. Not perfect, but mine. From across the beach, a woman watched through designer sunglasses. She was thin, scarred, wearing expensive clothes that looked out of place among the casual beachgoers. Soha lifted her phone and took a picture of the couple. Then she opened a text to Madame Cheon, found them. She smiled, cold and patient. Seoul or Lagos, she whispered to herself in Korean. You can run anywhere, but you can't hide from me forever. She turned and walked back toward her waiting car, disappearing into the Lagos traffic. The screen faded to black. If you loved this story of love, betrayal, and survival, please hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible tales. Drop a comment below telling us, should there be a part 2? What do you think happens when Soha comes to Lagos? Your engagement keeps these stories coming, so don't forget to share this with friends who love intense romance and suspense. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.